Pop in, say hi. If you've never come into one of my lives before, I am Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside, and I really have a most amazing smile on my face because I am so grateful to be sitting here with a little bit of company where I have been talking all day in slight conversations, and sometimes you know, in that customer service, we have those kindnesses, those extra, um, like the sprinkles, the gravy, those things that will make it so the customers will come back. In the midst of that, I have customers there, and a lot of them very grateful for it. But they are almost like friends. And some of them, right? I say almost like friends because we don't hang out, right? I'm not a hang out kind of person, though I can and I do. Um, but for the most part, I do enjoy my own company. And I enjoy being a spectator and a student in other people's, I'm just going to say, movement in their life, right? Because people do share online. And, sometimes we feel that we really do build these relationships. And I think, in that adapt and conquer in this digital age, that we have found a way, haven't we? We've kind of found a way in the digital age to be social because it's very, very important to be social. But going back to what I was going to say about that customer service, that extra sprinkles and gravy, and also the other relationships that feel like friendships and the small kindnesses that come my way, whether it's a cup of coffee. Yesterday, a lady brought me uh, pound cake and she put them in portions of two and she put them on a tray, put them in sandwich bags, great big tray for me. And we share it amongst the staff. And we work so hard on the weekend. It's so nice when the customers appreciate that, right? And the little kindnesses that come up. Actually, I was in the electronic department and I was cleaning up all the wires and stuff in the electronics department, and a gentleman tapped me on the shoulder, and I didn't recognize him as a regular customer, right? And he gives me a big smile, and he holds these two little boxes. I guess 7-Eleven makes cookies now, and they were like little 6 packs of M&M cookies and some other cookies, chocolate chip or something. And he says, "Would you like these?" And I went, "Sure." I would love those. Thank you so much. But in my mind, I'm thinking, do I know him? Is he one of my those customers that just go beyond that customer service, that sprinkle, that gravy? Because I've gotten to know my community so well, like by names. Like people comment all the time and say, "Oh my goodness," like because people walk in and out of the door, and I'm like, "Hey, Joan," right? "Hey, Dylan." All these names, all these people, all these regulars that come into my store, and people come up to the till and they go, "Oh my goodness, you know absolutely everybody." And no, I don't know absolutely everybody. And to tell you the truth, I really don't have a very good memory. Like I said, like I stopped for a second when that gentleman had those 2 boxes of cookies for me and saying, "Oh, would you like these?" And I was kind of nervous. Is he one of my customers? And I talk to everybody, and I'm so grateful to have that job. Like it's very, very incredible, right? One of my mentors in a program that I came through, to get back on my feet when I almost ended up homeless over COVID. And he came into the store, and um, he collects business business pencils, right? And he gets great joy out of it. I love finding the little things that people find joy in. Like Andrew. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Melvin. Hello, Owen. Like Andrew, I sent Andrew a little Christmas parcel this year, and but I know he loves calligraphy and he loves pens, but also he's a minimalist, right? So I sent him a little gift pack, but it was the things that I knew he loved. It was the things that I knew he loved. And that's what brings me joy, that when I'm able to get to that point in a relationship where I actually, kind of feel like I'm getting to know you. And when somebody gets a present that's right up their lane, right? If you gave me a Harley, well, maybe not. I was going to say Harley Davidson. I probably would jump for joy, but yes, I probably, right? The only reason I'm not riding a Harley is because I don't have a Harley and I can't afford a Harley, and there are more important things in line for my life than a Harley. But if somebody were to give me a Harley, oh, you betcha, right? It'd take me a couple months, get that thing insured, and I would be on the road, right? But we get to know the little things. Like, you guys know I love the crystals, right? I'm going to talk about rocks. I'm going to talk about crystals. I love camping, right? These are the extras, right? These are the extras that get us to the point where we're actually like friends. I'm kind of in the topic, but also in the experience today with all this just small kindnesses. Yes, I took the 2 boxes of cookies, but there were other little things too, when I would comment on someone, oh, is that ever nice? Oh, I love that. They go, oh, it's already paid for. Do you want it? Right? They're handing me off the things that they're just buying already. And again, you guys have been with me for a long time. You guys know it takes me a few minutes to slow down on Sunday nights, because I am coming from that speed, that go 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 go, and boy, do I go at work. We all do. I feel bad sometimes, the way, right? But it's only in that direction, and it's only in knowing the job that's expected, right? There is the extras and the sprinkles, and right, because I know what my boss appreciates, right? I know what she expects, but I also know those small things that she would take note of, and that would be all those little things that come off the plate so that she can get her job done. So I was only saying that because, I'm recognizing that, even though I am a bit of customer service, and all my social interactions, almost all of them are being taking place at work, those connections, those social things. And this is really, oh my goodness. I think I have to go back to work. Oh, Oh, you guys, I think I have to go back to work. I accidentally took the till key home. Okay, but I'm not going to worry about it now. The store is locked. I'll hop on a bus and go after my live show. I'll be ready for some fresh air and a little bit of going for a walk after I've already come down. It'll feel like a little bit of a bonus of Mother Nature. It was so nice today, you guys. It was. I don't know if it made it to plus. Oh, it did, because it's +3 right now. So things are going to puddle up, and they're really, really going to start to melt here in the city of Winnipeg, which is where I'm from. It's really going to start to melt here, but it needs to go for a few days so it has a chance to be evaporated into the air and taken off by the breeze or the wind or what have you. And because if those puddles are sticking around, this doesn't mean spring is here, right? Because we hit the pluses today. It's not even close. This is one of those fluky days, and it always happens every year. We sometimes get a few days in a row. Sometimes we just get one day and then it goes right back. We don't consider those, but if it goes for 3 days, we tend to get into the mode of it's spring because it's the reminder spring is coming, right? Today, when I was standing at the bus stop, I could see the red of the sky still. And I went, "Oh my goodness, it's like 6:30 at night and it's still sort of kind of light." It was dark where I was, but off in the horizon, I could see the red sky. And I went, "Oh, it's going to be so amazing when I can get off at work and it's still light outside, right? It's going to be absolutely terrific." But the reminder is it is spring, right? Spring is coming. And if it goes for a few days, you guys, the wives will have the men up on the ladders cleaning out the eaves troughs because with the rain and the last of the leaves from fall and all the little twigs and broken branches over winter, that's all going to be clogging those drains. And right, so we start going into these spring cleaning modes, right? The guys are out in the backyard cleaning up the frozen poop, right, from their dogs, from their dog pets and stuff, because they just let the dogs out into the backyard for a quick one and then back into the house they go, right? Winter is tough here in Manitoba, but we adapt and we conquer, you guys. We really do. So, this little crew, the sprinkles, the gravy, right? These are my friends, and I'm happy to come in and sit down and hang out with my friends. Okay, Kathy's here too. Hello, Kathy. You're ready to be a chatter live, Malvin. So, what's your good cheer? This is something amazing, you guys. I know Andrew might know this. Owen, too. A couple of you might notice that do come into my other live show. What's my good cheer? But when Melvin comes in, he always starts the conversation is, "Today my good cheer is," and then he'll say what his good cheer is, right? And I think it's just so amazing because that's what it is. And it's not like his day could be absolutely perfect, but sometimes all you need is that one thing to make a, a bad day, a bad week, a bad moment. You guys, I'm a sometimes, right? I was doing lots of projects out on the floor today, and quite often when I walk away from the till, I take the key with me, and it's on my wrist, and the store's all locked up and everything. And just a couple of weeks ago, just before I went to bed, right? I recognized and I remembered I forgot something and I had to go back to work and jump on a bus in the middle of the night when I was ready to get into my pajamas and go to bed. But those are the things, and you do what you have to do. Something really weird going on outside. I'm not even going to look at it because it's something I've never seen before. It's very strange on an apartment building. Maybe there's a power outage because everything is going off on a lots of things distracted me today. Let's have a sip of my coffee. I went to the grocery store quickly after I got off work tonight. You know, I want to have not a pantry, but I want to have those staples. Trump kind of made me a little bit nervous with what he's going on. I'm not somebody who pays attention to the news and focuses or is obsessed with the news, but something about it has made me a little bit nervous. And, I recognize sometimes that people come into our lives or events happen in our lives that are the catalysts of something bigger. And it made me a little bit nervous. So I've been kind of doing the staples in large quantities. Like today, I bought the lifetime supply of coffee whitener, right? Just in case the milk is off the charts in price, which that could happen because bird flu is around, you guys, in North America this year. I don't know if you guys heard anything about it, but bird flu has been an issue here in, yeah, I think in British Columbia. Actually, there was a teenage girl who actually got the bird flu. They don't know how it was passed on, but she did have it. So in my cautiousness, I want big bag of flour. I want the lifetime supply of cat food. Though, I'm not happy about giving my cat stale cat food, because once the bag is open, the bag is open. And that bag is a lot of food. She could probably live 6 months or a year off that bag of food, right? But I already got like a 20-pound bag of rice. I've been collecting things as they go on sale though, and then to buy those larger quantities just in case. And not because there's not going to be any food, but also just because, in the livelihood, and I think I'd probably be one of the last stores or one of the last people to start losing their jobs just because the position that I have in the community. So I am grateful to have that, but but it's the price of things. I think the prices are going to go a little bit cuckoo, you know, uh, right? And we notice right now. But can you imagine those prices that we're paying now being 3 or 4 times what we're paying, right? They're double now from pre COVID. They are double. Everything is almost double now, right? But I suspect with a little bit of surprises, because none of us are truly, except for, right, maybe the catalysts themselves and their expectations, or in whoever or whatever's expectations as to how things are going to move. I sure would like to be prepared. I'm not somebody who likes to go without. I don't, right? I am admittedly somebody who is, what would you call, immediate immediate reward, right? I live this way, constant. I need to be rewarded constant. And whether it's a cookie or a cracker or a cup of coffee or a walk, or, right, buying a new hoodie, not a new hoodie, a thrifted hoodie, right? Because I'm not I'm not a tightwad, but I'm not frivolous with my funds either. But I recognize that it was one of the things. It was what, the dopamine that came from being a VLT addict, a video lottery terminal addict. I played like online poker and stuff, but I say VLT addict because that was what I did almost every single day for, oh my goodness, over a decade. Oh, for sure over a decade, maybe 20 years, right? It ruined my marriage. It turned me into a sneaky person because I had to juggle my bills and I had to be sneaky as to where my money was being spent, right? So much so that my husband thought I pawned my engagement ring. Right? 2 weeks after I got engaged, I lost my engagement ring. I literally, honestly lost I was brokenhearted. I was just devastated, right? Because the engagement was a total surprise too, unexpected, nothing that I had ever expected for myself. I was just taking the relationship for everything that I could muster out of it before I would be disappointed again. And that that engagement ring was everything to me. Yeah. And my husband, he thought I pawned it because I was a VLT addict, a video lottery terminal. But it was that dopamine in playing the VLTs, right? And so that dopamine, that instant dopamine, I'm believing I probably picked that up from that, right? Because that was something that was absolutely constant in my life. I just jumped from one addiction to another. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I had lots of them at the same time and then just slowly just peeled them away. But that instant gratification, that's the word I was looking for. Instant gratification, right? I do that. And so for me, it's got to be very careful. I am eclectic, and so having an eclectic personality, especially, I've got to be very careful, and especially in the job that I have, because I come across unique things, eclectic things, conversation pieces, pieces that just, right? And being that little bit of a child myself and not being able as an adult to afford these things that now I'm able to, that, right? This is something that I put together through my, right? Nobody comes visit. This is all from, oh, well, I guess because I'm here live. So it is part of my studio too. So I shouldn't say that. But it is true. I buy all of that for me, but it kind of works, right? But that wall would work just as well. It's just the lighting and the position of where I can have my furniture and stuff that dictates that this is the place that I'm doing my live shows. Okay, I'm going to take this off my wrist because every time I lift my hand up, I see it and it's a reminder. Cindy, you got to go back to work. Urgh. It happens. It happens. I'll slow down. Have another sip. Let's see who's in here. William's in here. Good evening, everybody. Kathy says, maybe you could just call the boss and tell her that you took the key by mistake. Then you can return it tomorrow. Oh, no. No, because I don't start work till 3:15. I'm not going there in the morning. No. I enjoy my mornings. That's that I'm in school. I'm in school. So for sure. And then I do my live show before I go to work. And tomorrow's the first day that one of the ladies has been allowed to take on some more hours at work. Those were the extra hours that I was taking, helping out with a couple of people who were off, but one lady's able to take a few more hours. So I don't have to start until later on in the afternoon now. So that's going to be kind of nice. No, I'm not going to get up and get on a bus in the morning when I can have class and I can clean my apartment, right? Maybe I can get my laundry done so that my 2 days off are truly, right? Truly going to be filled with things that are going to make me smile. Not like I'm miserable when I'm doing laundry, because I do laundry in between doing other things, but in the procrastination of getting the laundry done, sometimes I miss out on opportunities to maybe go for a walk or go out with one of my sisters or something, or make plans because I didn't get the laundry done, and somebody says, "Oh, you want to go out?" And I got to get the laundry done. I'm back to work. I'm sure I could skip, right, a laundry week, right? I do I do my laundry every week, and you guys, well, I got a lot of clothes. I do have a lot of clothes. Spring is coming in. It's not quite ready to put some of these hoodies away. I want to keep a few of them out this year because, right, there were a few of my favorite hoodies that I brought out this winter that I had put away for winter. And on my September trip, I would have loved to have taken them with me, but I forgot that I even had them. That's how many clothes I have, right? Getting close to making final decisions because I'm not doing amazing in saving money. I'm doing okay, right? If I wasn't such an person who was into instant gratification, I probably could have done better. I didn't need to stop off at the grocery store, right? Today, I didn't need that lifetime supply of coffee mate. I didn't, right? But in my mind, it's going to get used, right? 100%. It will get used. And in the end, that money is spent now, right? That money is spent now. So it's gone. So if I could put that money that I save from that, right, the next time I won't need coffee mate because I've got a ton of it. So maybe instead I could put some money back into the jar. But you guys, I dug into that jar too. Like I said, I'm not doing great, but I think I'm going to be able to manage it, what I want to do. I'm going to be able to get a decent vehicle, right? It's not going to be new, but it's not going to be a beater either. So I'm going to be happy with that because it's been a long time since I've had a vehicle. I really miss driving. But if I could do a little bit better, if I could really apply myself, if I could stall it out one more month, because one more month would mean another $500, wouldn't it? And so, or keeping up with those extra hours, or you never know, just finding more ways to get that pot a little bit higher, but I think I'll be able to manage that for what I'm looking to spend. And if that's the case and I can get that done, right? And I don't have to put something, I don't mind putting some money up front if they say, "Oh my goodness, this is 2020 uh, with 20,000 kilometers." But it's got no windshield and it's been raining for the past 3 days. It's yours. $3,000. I'd be all over that. And I would replace the dash and I would replace the window, right? I've seen those deals online. So I'm willing to invest in some repair into a vehicle. But I want to go on a holiday. I don't know, right? If I want to go camping, I really want to go to I really want to go to Ontario. I just really love the provincial parks in Ontario. But and I had made my decision, right, to do the Manitoba provincial parks this year because I was working at getting a vehicle. But if I can do well by myself and get that vehicle and make enough because I won't be spending it on renting a car to go, that possibly could I swing it? Could I swing another trip to Ontario? I found another video, you guys. I found another park video for my trip this past September. So I'm tying it in with the crystals. I took it downstairs. I took everything downstairs. I made that video. I didn't want to. Oh my goodness, it was like pulling teeth. It was like pulling teeth in all honesty. But then again, in all honesty, when I was cleaning those rocks and I was doing the video, I had so much fun. And when I cleaned it up and brought everything upstairs, I was so happy that I had done it. Like I was so happy that I had done my video and I cleaned all my rocks. And look at this one. This one. I just love this one. Look at all those little smoky quartz. I dug that up. Isn't that gorgeous? Can you see that? Just absolutely just love that. And like I got so much of it, you guys. Look at this is just pure. This was just pure quartz, but this is everywhere's in Ontario. Like absolutely everywhere's. What else was interesting here? This was all collapsed and starting to rot though, but you could see that it was covered in crystals, you guys. Right? Look at if I gave it more scrub and stuff, I wonder if I could really get something out of it. Or maybe I could break it like a geode. And when I break it like a geode, it'd be like a little cave with crystals inside. I don't know. I just pulled some of the ones that I really liked out of there, and it's just you can't see, but that's a piece of amethyst. That's solid piece of amethyst there. The only piece of rock is this piece, that piece right there. Otherwise, it's all amethyst. This one, but you can't really see it in this light. The camera on this. Oh, and also maybe with this one, maybe if I turn this off, if you can see it better. No, you can't see it any better. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing that I had such an enjoyable time making that video. For me, it's always the getting started. It always is. It's never anything. I'm up to it in the in doing it. Like I'm it's just getting started. I'm such a procrastinator and I don't know why. I don't know why. I was ready to go today at 20 after, and then I said, "Oh, Cindy, la di da di da, go make yourself a cup of coffee." And I open up the drawer and I look at myself and I go, "Oh my goodness, fix your ponytail." Look at, I never even fixed my ponytail for you guys. Like nothing, right? Right? I have this little drawer here. This is what I managed to do for you guys. So I didn't look like death rolled over. I just did that. Put some lipstick on and go, okay, we're good. We're good to go. But I am good to go, right? I am so happy. Just like how I felt when I cleaned all my crystals and made that video. It was like pulling teeth getting it done. You guys know I just did it this past week, and it was September we did that trip. That's how long that big bag of rocks has been sitting under my kitchen table. So I'm glad. I was so happy. I was so happy to get it done. And so I saved a few. I saved a few pieces. I just really love this little one. It's like they're just hiding in a little cave in there. And all the rest of it is crystal too. It's just the way they hacked away at it that they kind of shadowed it, like kind of scraped it so it's all white. But I could buff that all out. I bet you it would be absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, so I thought I would tie it in. That one park, it was Kettle Lake that I came across, and we didn't do Kettle Lake, I don't think, because I don't recognize editing any of that video. And it was between Martin River and I can't remember. Silent Lake. There you go. Martin River and Silent Lake. So it was the park in between those two parks. And I totally missed it. And I don't know if I missed it or if it was just able to be uploaded. Because remember, I ran out of storage on my trip. More than made up for it. I haven't used any of the storage since, except for doing that video this week. But I got tons of storage, tons of Google storage for all kinds of stuff, right? So I'm not worrying about it. And it's not expensive either. I get all my photos perfectly stored in as many photos as I want in great quality, right? And yeah, it cost me like less than $40 for the entire year, and I haven't used any of it. I just used it so I could upload my video from my trip because I just had so much of it, right? I had more storage on my phone than I had in my Google account. So yeah, we got that all topped up, and right, I wish it was spring. I wish I had my car right now, right? I'd be out on the road so fast. Yeah. Looking forward to getting to, right? I think I'd like to maybe one or two short trips. Maybe I have my favorite lake of Manitoba, right? It's about the only lake that I absolutely love. I'm sure there are others, and I've gone through brochures. I've looked at all the campsites and looked at the true trails and the scenery and the excursions and mountains, trees, the smell, the boardwalks, the size of the campsite, the the right is and the time that I go, you guys, that's a huge one too because I take my vacation in September's, right? So number one, um, Manitoba shuts down on Labor Day, which is uh, the middle of September. Labor Day. Oh no, it's the first week. First week in September is Labor Day, and then the provincial parks pretty much shut down. Ontario is much warmer, and a lot of the parks in Ontario, they're all year round. You can go camping all year round. There are times during the year that there are spots and parks that don't have any snow. How amazing is that? Not to say it's not cold, but yeah. Well, Dave would know. Dave, tell me, in the wintertime there is times that see, if my sister was watching she'd be screaming squirrel, Dave, because I remember I was talking about picking up the frozen dog poops, right, in that little time where people get the teaser that spring is on its way, but it's only a teaser, you guys. And it's funny because people do get ready for spring. They got the rakes and they're cleaning leaves and they're getting their garden pots. Oh my goodness, garden pots are like the hottest thing selling in my store right now. Right? They want to send them downtown. No, I want to sell I want every single one. They're buying up everything. So let's sell it to them. Let's make some money, right? Let's provide some jobs for some people that could use a break, right? Very grateful. Oh my goodness, did I ever get the most perfect break? And it couldn't have been more perfect timing, right? It got me the apartment because I had a job, right? That was the only reason because I had that job. I was able to put this roof over my head. And then what was it? A month after I started working? It's like maybe a month, two at the latest. And we were in the midst of COVID. And it was just lockout after lockout after lockout. Our store did not have to close because I was the only one that didn't get COVID. I was really good with my vaccines, but other people were very good with their vaccines too, and still got it. But because I am that person that comes in, does their job, right? I have gotten to know like friends, right? They're constantly feeding me like I'm Buddha or something. Always giving me something, and I do, right? And I was bigger than Buddha, right? At one point, I remember at one point, 311 pounds. And, it makes sense to me. that in these coping mechanisms that we pick up and looking for that dopamine that will make us happy or make it so that we're not so miserable or not so stressed out, not realizing that most of the time that is what's causing the problem. That was exactly right. It was, and so now I'm stuck in a place where, right, I always need little rewards. And you guys see that because you see um, Chatter's live show and tell once every 2 weeks, right? Where I bring everything home and we look at everything that I buy, but I don't remember half the stuff, more than half the stuff of what I buy because I see things that I go, oh, that's so amazing. That can come home with, I don't even think about it. But that is the first dopamine hit. It's not the show and tell where I'm seeing all these amazing things, right? It's not that. It's those small, oh, that's so amazing. Look what came in. That can come home with me, which I should say, such great luck and such perfect timing, you guys. My standing upright air conditioner came in today. I am so excited. I'm so pleased with that. It was like a little miracle because I was thinking yesterday, when I was tidying up, I was saying, "Oh, I opened up the windows to get some fresh air. I haven't been able to do it because it's been like minus 40 Celsius and we got a plus day today, right? So I wanted the windows open, get a little bit of air flowing in here to piddle around the house a little bit, right? And I thought today, oh my goodness, in another month, just having the window open is not going to be enough. And I haven't got my air conditioner yet. I'm going to have to pay $200 for an air conditioner, which I did last year, you guys remember. And my air conditioner was a stinker. I got a stinker air conditioner. It was only good enough for when I was sleeping just to make it so that my face was cool, right? Well, today the new one came in. I don't know if it works. I just said put a price on it, go by the book, right? Be on the higher end and take it to the back room. That's coming home with me. So I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited to take my air conditioner home, and I got it at a really good price. But, right? I'm not going to, well, I crossed my fingers already. I'm crossing my fingers because my boss gets final say, right? No matter what, I'm going to buy it. But she gets final say on the price. So let me tell you what the price is. I'll have to pay full price, right? Because I'm not letting it go to the floor, right? That's the rule in the store. You don't get your staff discount if you buy something and it hasn't been on the floor for 24 hours. So I don't get a staff discount on it, but I don't have to pay tax and I don't have to pay $200. I got it for $65, you guys. I got my air conditioner. It looks like a good one. It looks like a good one. But she gets final say. So you guys know now. So next payday when I bring my staff charges home, I'll let you know whether I got it for $65. My staff bill is going to be pretty high, you guys. I suspect I'm going to have a pretty high uh, staff charge. I think I bought something else that was pretty big. I can't remember what it is, but I bought something that I think was probably pricey. So I may have $100 staff charge again this payday, but that's the dopamine, right? That's right. So show and tell, right? Might not be so amazing, but to take into consideration that $65. Oh, at least it's going to be over just a little bit over 100, but I'm had that in my budget. I had that in my goal setting, and I should be able to get that scratched off my goal list of things that I needed to get done this year, right? And it didn't even hurt. It didn't even hurt, right? And she says, no, Cindy, not 65. I'm going to put $100 tag on it. I don't care. I'll pay the $100 and I'll take a chance that it works good, right? I'll probably plug it in and play with it during business hours. And then, right. But she gets final say in that. So it's in the back room. She sees it and she'll make the decision. I don't price things. I've never priced my own things. Maybe that standard pricing where a coffee cup is $1, right? I don't price my own thing. Somebody else always prices it for me. And if I do have to price it, that guilt and shame always gets it an extra dollar than if I was going to be pricing it for the customer. It's just the way that I am. And yeah, so I was pretty pleased today. It made for a really, really good day today. We were short staffed today, but it ran really well, much better than yesterday. I like the team that I work with. I would take the two people that I work with today anytime, right? They both drive me a little bit bonkers in a way, but we drive each other. Sometimes it's just in that tolerance of each other. And if that's the thing, that's amazing because tolerance allows you to be yourself, right? Because somebody's gonna tolerate it. So yeah, I appreciate working with the team that I work with today, and they are workers, and I appreciate that too because there's nothing that will drive me more crazy that make me want to quit my job than right me working for my paycheck and somebody else not working for their paycheck. It drives me absolutely crazy. You find something to do, or I'll find something for you. That's my motto. Get to work, find something to do, or if I'm going to find a project for you, and I'm going to find good projects. I'll find gooders for sure. I made a cup of coffee, and I made a nice tea today. So or I brought a nice tea to my desk because I'm going to need the the um, the fluids tonight for sure. Going to drink a lot of fluids before I go to bed. I do the coffee. I do the tea. I do the brisk. I'll do Sprite. I do juices. Right. I just do a lot of fluids. If you hang out with me at any time, if you were into my real life or in my work life, you would know I I always have fluids. I'm always drinking something. There's always fluids going into me. But sometimes it's not the right fluids. I know coffee isn't the best thing for staying hydrated, but I think I can attribute a little bit of my good heart, maybe, to coffee because they do say coffee is very good for the heart that you right. Remember how they used to say that one cup of coffee, you should only drink one cup of coffee a day, and you should do that in the morning, right? Because the caffeine will keep you up. Caffeine has never had that problem for me. I've had coffee right till it's time to go to bed, and I have to dump out my coffee because it's time to go to bed, right? So I'm drinking coffee at all times, and it's never interfered with my sleeping habits. I'm pretty consistent in my sleeping habits, but it's not like I have a set time for myself to go to bed. I'm usually in bed within a 2 hour span between 11 and 1 o'clock in the morning. I go to bed, and but if I went to bed at 8 o'clock, I would be up at 3 o'clock in the morning because I would have had enough sleep, right? I don't need the same amount of sleep. And I'm not sure if I even needed that amount of sleep when I was young, but I used to sleep 8 hours, 10 hours all the time. It was all the time. To sleep 6 or 7 hours, that was a very much a rarity for me. And in all actuality, I had a lot of jobs that were night shifts, and I would sleep the day. When I was married, I worked in the clubs, and I would just stay up when I got home, make his breakfast, make his lunch, send him off, and then I would go to bed and not wake up until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, half an hour before he was due to come home. Right? Spend a couple hours together, have dinner, and then he's going to bed because he's got to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Right? So yeah, but I've always been a little bit nocturnal there, but a good sleeper, right? I've always been a good sleeper. And for the last at least 10 years, I have not been much of a dreamer. I'm going to say much of a dreamer because I've had a couple of instances where I've caught tips, like the ending tips. When I wake up, I feel a residue and I can catch a picture of what I was dreaming. Maybe not what I was dreaming, but the visual of what it was that I was dreaming, like there's a dog and a ball or whatever it was, like I would see that. Sometimes it would be somebody I know or an incident or something. And but right, I can't even count on one hand. I'd say maybe three or four dreams in the past 10 years. I don't know what happened to my dream state, but I don't really worry about it because I am a bit of a realist. And sometimes, right, I like to dictate in my imagination. I rather not uh, have those dreams pop in and bother me. Right? I don't know if they would bother me because it's been so long that I haven't dreamed. But yeah, it is a little bit strange. They say everybody dreams. They say everybody dreams, right? Hello, Hanner. Hello. Oh, Nancy's here too. Hello. Okay. Um, I'm just gonna backtrack a little bit here because you guys are a little bit ahead of me. Uh, Yeah, so I left off with Kathy. Yeah, no, I have to go. I have to go back to work tonight. Jump on a bus. That I won't mind. It's a beautiful night outside, and we got really good bus service. I only have to walk a block to the bus, so I'll just take a bus and yeah, and I'll be home. It'll take me less than an hour to get there and to get back, and I'll just look at it like it was an outing. I'll just look at it like it was an outing. Right? And again, we can make ourselves miserable, but I'd much rather just bite it in the butt, get it resolved, get the keys back to work, right? And they're going to need them in the morning. I'm not even sure if there's a spare. I'm sure there's a spare key somewheres. But where? I don't want my boss to have to look. I want her to walk in the door, say, "Oh my goodness, how fantastic." She won't do that either because we had lots of sneaky people leaving donations after the store closed. So after we were leaving, we all had to come back in with the donations because people were donating even though the store was closed. So we can't leave that stuff out there because the homeless come, right? And the homeless, unfortunately, they tear through the bags and it's all over the parking lot, all over the back lane, and our relationship with our neighbors, right? You can imagine because these things happen all the time. So yeah, I would much rather just get the key back to work. That's what I'll do. It's not a big deal. I'm not one for crying over spilt milk. Yeah, my fault for sure. And at the same time, I'm tired. I'm doing full time, and that's not an excuse, but it sort of kind of is, right? Because I built my life to part time at my job, right? Part time on my brand, part time in the lessons, right? So already that's a big plate. And now I'm back to full time at work. But I can't let it go either because, right, we're working at getting a car, right? It's on the goal list. And well, the goal list has to happen. So I guess probably I will do a couple of provincial parks here in Manitoba, right? I'll take you guys to see my favorite park in Manitoba. It took me a long time to find it, but it is amazing, amazing. And that's what started the whole thing for me of going back to camping was that experience in that particular park, right? And then I will pick a different park that I've never been to and we'll go and visit that one too. That will be two there. And we can do that before I go on holidays, and then I can still go on holidays, right? Right? Because I think there's a free paycheck the month that I'm leaving. There's 3 paychecks that month. So there's an extra paycheck and a couple of extra months ahead of time that I'll be able to squirrel maybe a few more dollars away for the trip. Wow, if I could do 2 weeks in Ontario, that would be amazing. But if I can't do 2 weeks in Ontario, could I get a return ticket to Scotland, right? And maybe $1,000 in, or £1,000, which would probably be about $2,000, right? And have that last me 2 weeks. And I'm just going to trek. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to trek and make videos in Scotland. I'm going to go into the highlands and do the trails. And I'm going to meet people and I'm going to see ancient ruins and architecture and churches and and try and understand Scottish accents. When I was a teenager, I had a great big map on my bedroom wall of Scotland. And so when I think of trips and think that, last year for what it cost me, I could have done anything in the whole world that I wanted to do pretty much. Maybe not a deluxe African safari, but I'm sure I could have done something in Africa for that $7,500 or more because I didn't add up all the gas, and that was a gas guzzler that I had. It was a nice luxury vehicle that I rented, but it was a bit of a gas guzzler for sure. So for the amount of money that I spent last year, I could have make that goal of what I had as a teenager, that goal to one day go traveling. And I wanted to do. I had like that movie Mask with those pins. I had pins of all the places I wanted to go to in Scotland, and I was going to walk to all of them. But if I could just do one little 3 day or 4 day trek, I would be happy with that, right? And just where it's kind of like BC weather. So I suspect that it's going to be windy and wet and still cold in September. But the colors, I'm sure, would be absolutely beautiful. And there are little options there. So those plans are not solidified. And that's a little frustrating too, because every year my goals are set. This is the goal. I'm just in saving money mode right now, and that's boring. I need my immediate gratification more than I needed anything. I need more sprinkles and sugar right? I need those instant smiles and right? So grateful for those amazing customers, getting back to that. Those amazing customers who come in and right want the cookies or oh I baked you this what coffee I want and just automatically bringing me a cup of coffee when I've maybe taken my last sip of my coffee or I've been so busy I haven't had any sips. Now my coffee is completely cold and then somebody does such a thoughtful kindness thing, right? Yeah, so okay. Oh, let's come in here. You had a long week, eh, Malvin? You don't want it to thaw out. It's better if you pick up the poopsicles while they're still frozen, Dave. Okay, coming down. Hello, Nancy. What does it say here? You are so lucky, Cindy, that you live in Canada and can live your life without worry and fear. Wish I didn't live in America. I live in America too, right? We live on the same continent, Nancy. Don't forget that, right? And that's one of the reasons why I can feel a little bit nervous. And I find myself stockpiling 20-pound bags of flour and 20-pound bags of rice. Like, you should see the container of soup base I bought, right? And then I bought celery and I chopped them all up and I rolled them up in sandwich bags. And I made a big tray of peppers and chopped celery all ready to go in sandwich bags, and then I put it in a container and sealed it to keep the air out of it and everything. And they're sitting in the freezer too, just doing things like that, right? The beans and the barley and all those things that would might make it so that we can get to the point where everything goes back to some familiarity from the hairy scary that we got put into. And it would be nice to say that nothing's going to come of it, but I think I would be much safer than. Sorry, I was just looking to see if those lights were there, but they're all gone now. I don't know what they were. That was really, really, really strange. Okay, let's come right back down here again. I know, but I'm worrying about those moves too. But what can you do, Nancy? Like, what can you do if you can do something? Because I have friends like that these things are very, very passionate about, and even though I'm not as passionate, and even though I'm a little nervous and it is bugging me a little bit, that's not my calling, right? But like Sharon, I'm not sure of her views on Donald Trump, but she's a picket person for sure. And if there's a cause that she believes in, she will go all out at it. She would go at it like a jugular, right? But sometimes if you're not compelled to be that leader or that action taker in that, then the best thing to do is not to destroy your life to make you feel so bad, right? Because some things we have no control over, and that's one of the aspects of myself that I can easily move on. Oh, it's not going to work that way. Okay, well, they're not going to give me that. Well, how can I get it? Right? And just find ways in that, adapt and conquer, and not worry about that spilt milk of something that I have no impact on, right? That isn't going to listen to me, doesn't care what I have to say, doesn't care if I'm out there with a sign, and probably he doesn't care about that because, right? Now, I might do it to support a friend who it is their cause, but not being my cause, right? That would be a people pleasing thing. Well, maybe it's not a people pleasing. Well, it is a people pleasing thing, but the intent is not to get the people pleasing. It's just the aftermath of feeling good when you help your friends out, when you help the people that you care about out, right? But I get it. Like I said, catalysts, like they're what's going to happen is what's going to happen. And if you can get on what do you call those lists that people petitions, if you can sign on petitions, or if you could go to a rally, right? get on Twitter and have your say and just tag him do it every 5 minutes till he's so bonkers that he cuts you off, and you go, okay, well, he unsubscribed me from these platforms, but that's okay, right? I agitated it enough that he had to actually take a moment to do that. That maybe I ruined his minute, ruined his hour, ruined his day. But like my dad used to say, two wrongs don't make a right. Just because somebody does you wrong, right? And that's what we have to fight against, right? Is that tit for tat, and that I don't know, that some people are a little bit more deserving than others that way, right? Yeah. And you can see it, right? You can see it out in the world, and it's part of what's made started making me feel a little bit nervous this week. But also, I made that decision that I can go in and check quickly, but out of there. Like I am out of there. It's a quick choice. It's a quick check. It's not on to the next video on the topic, just enough to stay updated. But also in the practicing of my craft, right? I'm searching out solutions in my own mind, in knowing, right, the community of possibly those other parts of me a little bit, right? And that was only a gift out of a necessity to stay close, right? To be a little bit codependent on my father who lived that way, right? And again, in that people pleasing, that sometimes, right, we get lost in it, and we become other people, not become other people, but we take the traits on and the ideas on and the beliefs on of other people. Yeah. I'm just waiting and seeing. I'm just in spectator now mode. I'm not a student. I'm not going into backgrounds and lineage, and I'm not going into that stuff. That's the compulsive part of it, right? And I'm not going to open my mouth on somebody that I haven't got a clear grasp as to who he is or what he's up to. And why? Because just because it doesn't draw my attention. It doesn't affect me like it affects Nancy, or it affects other people out there, right? I have a friend, she's a fellow YouTuber, and she actually loves Trump. Like she's like Nancy is with Trump, she's the absolute opposite for Trump. And it's really curious because, right, Nancy's amazing and this other person is amazing, but each one of us get to make those choices. But, right, can everybody be right? Right? Sometimes we just rub with a different crowd, right? We are um, the misfit toys, right? And it's kind of interesting how we all get along so friendly, like we are friends, right? And we are friends. It's the sprinkles, it's the gravy, it's the extra, right? It's that which is past, right? My customer service, right? Those relationships that I build at work that are customer oriented and are there only for my shifts, that I'm not hanging out with those people on my days off, and I'm just going to take a quick brain scan just to make sure that there's nobody at my work that I hang out with. No, I don't hang out with anybody from my work. not even going for a cup of coffee, nothing. We had a little staff Christmas party in the store. That was about as close as it gets. But those relationships, those work relationships, they are very tight. They are very friendly, family oriented, right? And it has to be that way when you spend as much time with people than you do with your own family, right? And I spend more time actually with the people I work with than I do my own family. My sisters are doing their own thing, living their own lives, and I can stay in touch. But these are right. These are connections that work in all different ways, and everybody plays a part in that, right? So we have to decide what for ourselves is important in our lives when it comes to being socially happy. And I think I do a pretty good job because I socialize at my job. I am grateful to have a job that socializing is part of the customer appreciation and orientation and growth, right? Because that's our community, and to get those Google reviews, and it's not like I haven't had stinker reviews too. I'm the only one up in the front end. I'm that star of that show. So anything goes wrong on the weekends, it's all in my head, and it's all something that I've got to work through and I have to deal with and I have to be accountable for, right? Nobody else is taking responsibility for that. So it makes sense that on occasion I would get a stinker review. But like everybody else, I am human. I am human. And right, in consideration of the kindness that any problem is approached by me or approaches me, that's going to dictate what's going to be the unfolding of that interaction, because I am someone who doesn't turn the other cheek, and I believe in lessons, right? I don't go for the jugular. I'm not taking you out. I'm not going to call you names, or I'm not going to be mean, but you're going to leave that experience that we are having together with a lesson. I believe in that. I believe in that. It's you need these little foods for thought, right? Because in those silent moments where nobody's around, right? Right? I do my day and I come home, and for the most part I'm on my own. I'm not even listening to music. I right? It's in the silence. It's in my own thoughts. It's in getting a few things done, getting a few things cleared up. It's making that connection to those other parts of me, right? And that's just the way it goes sometimes. And I appreciate being able to build my life that way, right? And I do happen to get a little bit exhausted because, right, I am taking on lots right now. But at the same time, I'm trying to stay on top of it. And I'm doing it, but how well I'm doing it doesn't matter. I'm still doing it. I'm still moving forward, and I right, and I'm looking at people I've been taking lessons from, and taking breaks, and the content is not consistent, and you know I worry for them because I understand that feeling, because I've been working with those feelings too, right? But doing the best, just doing the best that you can, and just trust that that's going to have to be enough, right? That whatever is pulling us down, it can't be pulling us down forever. And sometimes it's just the lesson of, right? Are you going to let this uh, pull you back, or are you just going to overcome it, right? And that decision will be for us 100%. Okay, you guys, I am exhausted. I just pooped out on that one for sure. And I've got to get my gear on and head off and get on a bus and go back to work and return return the keys. Ah, poopy. Right. It is what it is. I'm going to jump on the bus right now. It's too late for me to message my boss, so we'll just go and get it done and come back to work. Everybody, thank you so much, everybody, for popping in tonight and listening to me babble off. No show and tell, but we should have a good show and tell. I got some interesting items this week. I got another Rubbermaid container to hold them, and we're gonna probably put a little bit of it away. I think I got some stuffed camping gear in this one coming up. I'm not quite sure. I know my boss is collecting for her auction window, so she likes to do some camping stuff for spring, and maybe it'll be something amazing, and I can get in on that bid one. Yeah, I missed out on it last year. Okay, you guys, let's call it a night. It'll give me an extra 10 minutes to get there, get it done, and get home. You guys, have a great night. Have a great week. If you want to pop in tomorrow, I will be coming in sometime tomorrow. Oh, it'll be during the day in the morning because I don't have to go to work till 3:15 because I'm going to return the keys now. So we'll be in sometime before lunchtime or around lunchtime anyway. So if you want to pop in, say hi, keep company with me, that would be amazing. If not, we'll be back next Sunday with another show and tell. And yeah, another week, one more day, and I'm all done. Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys, you have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Off we go.